Đâu, xí mua đèn tí, mua đây rồi.
Ở nhà bên bệnh về bên Mỹ rồi tới về hoài.
Có ai nữa, có ai nữa?
Hả?
Chí có vậy giờ, có vậy giờ.
Đó, Chí vừa gọi điện thoại cho cháu là nó đang ở số 8. Xe gửi đâu
Bạn muốn không? Nhà anh đi. Phải lấy ra ăn.
ở đây là kìa, có đó tao như là bà xã của anh. Đó là
giới thiệu gì hết anh Phú. Đang có phim mà
Rồi nhớ gọi điện về.
yêu cầu chúc đi trường đầu nhà. Rồi
Em trông rồi chị đánh ra đâu?
không ra chứ.
Sao anh chị bảo
hết phim trời đó.
Ông nói là mình đi.
Well, take a look at the pictures there, Rosemary. Again, you're watching it, they're coming in. That is
unbelievable. Look at that.
That is arriving on the coast. As you're watching these dramatic pictures there from Japan, the earthquake occurring about 150 kilometers east of Sendai, I do want to mention that Japan is not the only place that is being affected here, but my goodness, it is now taking the brunt of it there, Rosemary. That is unbelievable.
Extraordinary. I mean, you can see the power lines going down as all of that water roars through and rips. And of course, it is close to the coast. You can see the ships and the boats that are already in the harbour there, but all of the cars are being drawn into that. I mean, this is just extraordinary, seeing these pictures as this unfolds before our very eyes.
We've never seen this. We're watching a live tsunami hit Japan. If you're watching us from around the world here on CNN, that is what you're watching. Those are not taped pictures. That is a live picture of what appears to be a major tsunami arriving along the Japanese coast. Just incredible scenes there.
And of course, Ivan, let's talk about those waves, because you were saying like 500 miles for our US audience, 800 kilometres per hour for our global audience. I mean, just extraordinary strength involved in that. And you say it comes, presumably that first one is the strongest, and then the ones that follow are weaker. Is that correct or not?
Not necessarily. If you remember in the Banda Aceh tsunami, the initial one was bad enough, but then we had essentially wave 3 and wave 4, which were actually higher and worse. So the damage is ongoing right now, but may continue over the next several hours because we talk about these waves that come in, each successively producing damage here. So we'll have to watch that closely. And again, not just Japan, but we have a regional across the Pacific now, a tsunami watch in effect. And as you watch these dramatic pictures, that is telling me that since a tsunami was generated and it has now hit Japan, we are talking about other countries that are going to be in the path of it. And of course, Japan didn't have much time to warn their folks there along the seashore because they are 150 kilometers to the west of the epicenter, and this thing is moving at 800 kilometers per hour. Do the math. It has certainly arrived with quite a fury there along the coast of Japan.
We're looking at these pictures. We can see something is ablaze there on the ground as this very strange wave of mud and debris with boats included and cars and all sorts of things. It's when you see something like this, Ivan, unfold before your very eyes that you get an idea of there's nowhere to run when you have something like that coming so fast toward you. And of course, you know, it appears to be fairly slow when you're looking aerially, but if you're on the ground and that is moving at such a fast speed, you can see the boat there.
Just unbelievable pictures. There's a building or a couple of buildings that are on fire and are moving with the tsunami. That is just something you just never seen before, and there's a pretty big vessel there getting pushed to shore. The one good thing that I'm seeing here, there are homes now in the way, but generally, if you've noticed, Rosemary, this has been through farmland here. There's that fire that I've been talking about, a moving blaze along the tsunami. Just unbelievable stuff here.
I can tell you pretty much what we've experienced. I'm actually in a subway, and just a few minutes ago, we experienced the epicenter clearly was offshore. This was not a direct hit on the island of Honshu, which is the island that Tokyo is on. But we felt a very significant earthquake. Everything was shaking. The signs were moving. People became very alarmed. And there was a similar earthquake, but not quite as strong as this, just a couple of days ago. So what we see now is that the warning alerts are on. Many of the lights are off. Trains have been stopped. And people are just basically waiting to see what's going to happen next.
Yeah, and of course we're getting word it was a 7.9 quake. That's a big quake that hit. And as you mentioned, I mean, you and I were talking a couple of days ago when that other one hit, and one remark you made, which was very important, I thought, I took note of that, was that you said the quake lasted, or it felt like it lasted, for about 3 minutes. Similar today that we're feeling it. I would actually say it probably went on a little bit longer than that, maybe 4 or 5 minutes today. So yes, these are very, very strong earthquakes. The initial information we have is that it appeared to be a quake still off the shores, somewhere in the water. So at this point, I don't know if the tsunami alert has been issued or not. But yes, you're pointing it out. It is something that many people in Tokyo, again, are feeling the second time in just a couple of days. How unnerved has this made people feel? Because, of course, Japan is very used to these sorts of earthquakes, but when you get to 2 in a row like this, it must be very unnerving, even for those who are used to this. You know, yeah, earthquakes here are very part of the ordinary day. It's something that you feel, frequently. To feel something like this, though, in just a couple of days is alarming. I saw a couple of women clutching each other. They were very alarmed. Some children appear to be very frightened. Everyone here is trying to get on their mobile phone to find out if everyone's okay. It is generally safer if there is a strong earthquake like this to stay underground, to just kind of wait it out until there's an announcement saying you can leave the train station. So right now we're just sitting here, a lot of people trying to use their mobile phones, but right now not having a whole ton of luck. I think I've managed to get one of the only cell lines out of here right now. I'm sure you have. And of course, that point you mentioned, the tsunami alert, you're not sure, you said, whether they have issued one at this point. But clearly, I mean, they even had with that, the earthquake that took place a couple of days ago, it was a small tsunami, but presumably we would expect one to come with a 7.9 magnitude quake.
It's really difficult to say. It depends how shallow it is. It depends how far offshore. You know, there's a lot of scientific factors that go into whether there is a tsunami alert. But this was something that was very sizable. So we have to certainly keep our eyes peeled for an alert if there is one.